Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And breaking news this Monday morning, a person is dead after a hit-and-run crash in Johnston County. The search this morning for the person who drove away from that scene.
And big changes in our weather this week. We're tracking a big drop in temperatures. I'll show you when that arrives and when things are going to feel like late November.
We are now just 3 days away from the start of early voting in North Carolina. What you need to know before you cast your ballot as the candidates make their final push for votes. And they will be stopping here in North Carolina quite a bit until November 5th. Hello, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. Thanks for starting your work week with us. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, thanks for making us part of your routine here as you stop in for some news on our Monday. We get things started. It is very comfortable outside right now. Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center in for Elizabeth Gardner there. And a look at what is happening this week with that fair starting.
Yeah, exactly. The fairgrounds, we got a bird's eye view on that right now. A little breezy at times, temperature of 63 right now. We may not even make it there Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. So that's just kind of a tease ahead to what we're expecting as we get closer to the North Carolina State Fair. As for walking the dog today, temperatures are slow to climb. Our cold front passing through. A breeze out of the northwest prevents us from getting into the 80s, most of us reaching the low to mid 70s by this afternoon. Turning much cooler overnight, Roxborough 42, Fayetteville 47, Rocky Mount at 44. So that's heading out the door tomorrow morning. We'll need the thick coats as we track some of that air coming straight down from Canada. We're going to show you how long that kind of chill lasts coming up in your complete forecast. Ken?
Hi, Chris. Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We see a major slowdown right now, right there on I-40 eastbound near Airport Boulevard. Let's take you outside and show you exactly what's going on. We're seeing some police activity right here in this area, working to figure out exactly what the incident is, whether it's a crash or something else that's happening. I'm working to figure out exactly what's going on. I'll have an update in about 10 minutes, but I'll definitely keep an eye on that. With these changing conditions, definitely listen to us on the radio, 101.5 HD3, or have a couple more options at 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Breaking news we're following right now. State troopers are looking for a hit-and-run driver after a deadly crash. This happened in Johnston County on US 70 Business near Smithfield. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from State Highway Patrol headquarters. And Kelsey, we know a motorcyclist died in this crash.
Jeff, investigators are still searching for that driver this morning. The WRAL breaking news tracker captured this video around 2 o'clock this morning. US 70 Business was shut down for about 2 hours as troopers investigated. The crash happened near Barber Road, and now it happened right where trucks exit the Amazon facility on US 70. We're still working to find out the name of the motorcycle rider who was killed, but we'll be sure to keep you updated on the search for that driver. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Johnston County.
This week, both presidential campaigns will make more stops in North Carolina. The election is now just 22 days away. Early voting starts in just 3 days. WRAL's Laura Levine is live at the State Board of Elections. Laura, the state is in the spotlight and election officials are preparing.
Renee, good morning. Here at the State Board of Elections, election officials are preparing those one-stop early voting sites as early voting begins this Thursday. This comes as both campaigns are hitting the campaign trail. As we know, the race heating up with new NBC polling showing that the two are neck and neck. Now, with this, we know election officials say Hurricane Helene will not significantly impact voting. Affected counties will have just 5 fewer polling locations than originally planned. Meanwhile, the Harris and Trump campaigns are on the campaign again nearly every day. They're on the trail. Today, Donald Trump Jr. will be in Johnston County, and J.D. Vance is scheduled to speak at an event Wednesday in Wilmington. VP Kamala Harris spoke in Greenville just yesterday, outlining what she describes as clear differences between the two campaigns.
Ours is a campaign focused on issues that matter, for example, to working families across America, like bringing down the cost of living, investing in small businesses and entrepreneurs.
And wrapping up the busy week of campaign stops here in our state, we know Tim Walz will also be in the Triangle on Thursday. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Cumberland County elections officials will conduct voting machine tests today. The accuracy testing will take place at the County Board of Elections office in Fayetteville. All machines that are being used in the election across all of North Carolina's 100 counties will undergo testing like this. We have a voter guide on our website, WRAL.com. It has more information about same-day registration, all the important dates you need to know, as well as information on how to vote by mail and information about voter ID. Just search Election 2024.
President Biden is promising more than $600 million to restore and upgrade the power grid after Helene and Milton hit. He visited Florida yesterday to see the damage from Milton. He toured St. Pete Beach, which is left in shambles.
For some individuals, it was cataclysmic. All those folks who not only lost their homes, but more importantly, those folks who lost their lives, lost family members, lost all their personal belongings.
Well, so far, the power has been restored to more than 3 million homes and businesses in Florida since Milton hit last week, according to poweroutage.us. There are still more than 450,000 customers without power this morning.
Today, artists in Asheville affected by Helene can apply for an emergency grant. The grant is being launched by Arts AVL. Those eligible may be able to receive a $500 stipend. The organization says that 80% of the area known as the River Arts District was destroyed. The community included 26 warehouses and 300 artists. It's the #1 arts district in our state and a major part of Western North Carolina's economy.
The loss is devastating. There are many areas along the Blue Ridge that have beautiful scenery, but our creative community is one of the things that make the Asheville area stand out from the rest. Our artists and arts organizations are a major economic driver and revitalizer.
Applications for the grant will be on Arts AVL's website.
Fayetteville Police Department says it is investigating what it's calling a shooting incident at Cross Creek Mall. It's not clear what time this happened yesterday, but the police department says the incident does not appear to be random. There's no information on any victims or suspects at this time.
Tonight, the candidates for North Carolina Superintendent Public Instruction will face off in a debate. Democrat Mo Green and Republican Michelle Morrow will debate tonight at Pinecrest High School in Southern Pines. The Public School Forum of North Carolina is hosting this event.
The U.S. is sending troops to Israel along with an advanced anti-missile system. The Pentagon says it'll send what's called a terminal high-altitude area defense system to Israel. About 100 U.S. troops will also be deployed to operate it. This is the first time American troops are being sent to the Middle East during the war. There's no word on when they will arrive. A hospital in Gaza, meantime, says an explosion early this morning killed 3 people and injured dozens. Video shows Palestinian authorities working to put out fire and rush people to shelter. The explosion follows an Israeli airstrike yesterday that killed at least 20 people.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center this morning, we are learning Iran says it did not have any prior knowledge of the October 7th attacks in Israel. They say they did not take part in that assault. And this is all in response by reports from the New York Times and Washington Post saying that Hamas has secret documents seized by Israeli forces. The reports show that Hamas discussed the planned attacks in advance and asked Iran and Hezbollah to take part, but Iran said any of those claims come from fabricated documents. They are not true.
Today is Indigenous Peoples Day, also known as Columbus Day. That means some businesses will be closed. Most major banks will be closed today, including Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citibank. Branches of Chase Bank will be open. The U.S. Postal Service will also be closed, so no mail or packages will be delivered. UPS and FedEx have normal hours today. The DMV, libraries, and courts are closed. Most retail stores, like grocery stores and Target and Walmart, will be open.
6:09, the time on your Monday morning. The man accused of killing the founder of Cash App is due in court today. What's expected to happen during his first day of his trial?
Plus, the largest spacecraft ever is headed for outer space. How its mission could find a new place for humans to live.
And we'll need to find some ways to stay warm over the next few evenings. Maybe it's a fire pit. Coming up, I'm going to time out some of the coldest air of the season when that arrives here in North Carolina. Coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio, in Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12 this morning. A lot of us starting in the upper 50s and lower 60s, and temperatures are going to be slow to rise today as a cold front moves through the area. Breezy at times and highs for most of you making it into the low to mid 70s. Not quite as warm as yesterday. There's our cold front right on the doorstep this morning, and then it passes east tonight into tomorrow. That's when the bulk of the cold air starts to settle in, especially for the mountains. There have been a lot of drives going on to send some warm clothes and blankets out west. With good reason, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings, potential for some frost and freezing temperatures out in the high country. Meanwhile, farther to the south, there's a potential for a tropical system to develop, but coming up in the complete forecast, I'll show you why I expect that to stay well south of here.
And Chris, we're following some breaking news here in the WRAL traffic center. An incident. First responders are on the scene at I-40 eastbound near Airport Boulevard, causing a delay stretching all the way back past I-540 this morning. I just looked at the sensors, and it's taking more than 20 minutes in terms of the delay we're looking at. Now it's down to 19 minutes. If you're coming into the capital city from Durham, you might want to take I-540 or I-70 as an alternate route. But if you're heading out this morning, keep in mind you can listen to us at 101.5 HD3 anywhere in the triangle. And of course, Jeff, I'll keep an eye on this and let you know in the next 10 minutes what's up.
Well, there you will, Ken. Thank you. Former President Donald Trump wants to put more agents on the U.S.-Mexico border. Trump was in Arizona last night for a rally where he unveiled a plan to hire 10,000 new agents to patrol the border. He also said he would get Congress to approve a raise and retention bonus for agents.
We're going to retain them, and they deserve it. They've been treated unbelievably badly, and the fact that they continue. And you don't hear they're going out on strike. They're going to this, they don't do that.
The Harris campaign was quick to denounce that plan, saying Trump has a track record of broken promises and failed leadership on border security.
Today, opening statements are set to begin in the trial of a man accused of killing the founder of Cash App. Nima Momeni faces a murder charge. He is accused of stabbing Bob Lee to death in San Francisco in April. Court documents allege Lee and Momeni got into an argument over Momeni's sister. Momeni could spend life in prison if he is convicted.
Raleigh police are investigating after 2 adults and a juvenile were shot on Capitol Boulevard. This happened Saturday night. All 3 people are expected to survive their injuries. 2 businesses and 2 cars were damaged by gunfire in the Emporium Plaza area. No arrests have been made in this case at this time.
The family of a UNC student who lost his life just over a year ago is spreading hope through a foundation in his name. Elijah Hawkins Maynard died in a crash on Page Road in Durham last October 5th. His family created the EJHM Foundation in his honor. They are keeping his legacy alive by collecting food and clothing for people who need it and working to mentor young people in the community.
When we are serving in the community, we always ask our community, what is it that you need? What is it that you want? So when we continue to be a blessing to the community.
Such a beautiful way to honor his memory. The family was recently able to give its inaugural EJHM Foundation scholarships to 8 young people in the community.
Taiwan is condemning the latest round of Chinese military drills near that island as unreasonable provocation. China's military is conducting joint Army, Navy, and Air Force drills in the waters surrounding Taiwan. Taiwan says it detected 25 Chinese aircraft and 11 warships near that island. China is now saying that the drills are a stern warning to separatist acts on Taiwan.
This afternoon, NASA plans to launch the largest spacecraft it's ever built for a planetary mission. A SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket is set to launch the Europa Clipper just after noon from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It plans to travel to Europa, an icy moon of Jupiter. Scientists think it's one of the best bets in the solar system for sustaining life. The Europa Clipper carries 9 instruments for testing life-supporting conditions. Its journey is expected to take about 10 years.
Carolina Panthers are still looking for win number 2 on the season. They played the division-leading Atlanta Falcons. Pretty tight game in the first half. Their game at Bank of America Stadium. The Falcons pulled away, though, in the second half, won it 38-20. Panthers now 1-5 on the season. They hit the road again next week to play rookie sensation Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders.
It is 6:17. We had such a glorious weekend weather-wise and just hanging on to a little residual warmth, but then things will change. Chris Michaels talks about what's causing that change.
Yes, that whole cold front that we've been tracking for the past few days. Right now we're on the east and warm side of it, although right now in Roxborough, Henderson, Siler City, you're the cool spots at 57. Currently in Lewisburg, Rocky Mount, Wilson, and South Hill, you're at 61 degrees. That's also the case in Smithfield, Fayetteville, Clinton, and Sanford, just above that at 62 so far on your Monday morning. Around town, you can see where that cold front is going to be positioned. Notice Fayetteville close to 80, whereas Durham having a hard time getting out of the 60s this afternoon. Raleigh's in the low to mid 70s. At northwest wind, going to be breezy at times, 10 to 15 miles per hour. All driven by a difference in pressure. You have the air that tries to rush from high to low to kind of fill the void there. So that's a little bit as to why we get wind this time of year. But once high pressure settles out overhead, the wind will calm down heading into the middle and later part of the week. But you also notice a clockwise flow in that area of high pressure. That's what's going to prevent this potential tropical system from getting here within the next 7 to 10 days. It's only got a 40% chance for the time being heading toward the Caribbean. The other reasons why we care about this area of high pressure, sinking air with it's going to lead to a drier air mass, meaning that rain chances are pretty much slim to none over the next 7 days. And we continue to drag down some of that cooler air just in time for the first day of the North Carolina State Fair. That's Thursday. The afternoon high only about 62 degrees. That's kind of your average in mid to late November. So absolutely feeling like fall. And then once the wind calms down a little bit, that's going to allow temperatures to drop even more. So as we look ahead to Thursday and even Friday mornings, you're looking at lows in Roxborough, South Hill, and Rocky Mount, 37 to 39. Raleigh, Durham, Goldsboro at 40 degrees. So no, you may not need the jacket first thing this morning. You're going to need to break it out, though, the next several mornings here in the central part of the state. 73 the high in Raleigh today. First thing tomorrow, we're in the low to mid 40s, a little breezy at times. Highs in the 60s Tuesday. Wednesday, we have a hard time getting out of the 50s for daytime highs. If that's not your speed, you at least have the weekend to look forward to. Yes, the mornings are going to be cool, but as we look ahead to the weekend, guys, we're looking at high temperatures making their way into the 70s. Really just another second straight beautiful weekend.
Yeah, fall is here. Chris, thanks a lot. Hey, we're following some breaking news here in the WRAL Traffic Center. This major delay right there on I-40 and eastbound near Airport Boulevard. You can see some type of incident was happening there. We saw some flashing lights a little while ago. That backup stretch all the way back to I-540 this morning. And taking a look, it's costing you about 23 minutes. So if you're in Durham, coming into the capital city, I would get off on I-540 and make your way around. Or Highway 70 might be your alternate route. But keep in mind, you're heading out this morning. You have three options to listen to us. 101.5 HD3, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Students in Western North Carolina are trying to process what happened during Helene as they're still out of school. The picnic where they were able to meet up with friends and try to get things back to normal.
A person is dead and 9 others are hurt after a shooting at a university in Tennessee. What investigators are saying about the possible suspects.
Also this morning on Today, Kaylee Hartung goes inside the game, taking a look at behind the scenes with the New York Giants and their pre-game flag unfurling tradition.
And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. We'll be right back with what's trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
2 Olympic track stars are ready to sprint down the aisle.
Ken Smith's here now with What's Trending on our Monday morning, Ken.
Yeah, love is in the air. Team USA's Noah Lyles and Jamaica's Janelle Brumfield are ready to tie the knot. They got engaged over the weekend and shared the news with the world on Instagram. They've been dating now for about 2 years.
And that stint was actually their second go-around for dating. They met in 2017, went on a first date, didn't go all that well, and they decided to be friends. And then in 2022, they decided to try it again, and now it's been a full sprint ever since.
Looks like it's going just fine right there.
Love that, love that. So listen, Liam Gallagher was not impressed with the Saturday Night Live sketch about he and his brother Noel's Oasis reunion.
SpongeBob.
Legend. Who's the best Ninja Turtle? Donatello. Legend. And who's the best Rugrat? 1, 2, 3.
Well, Liam asked on X, are they supposed to be comedians? Well, one of the comedians, Sarah Sherman, responded by calling Liam a legend.
That was a repetitive term throughout
Yes.
the whole skit there. You see Colin Jost introduced the segment there. But I think if you get in a sparring match with SNL, you don't always end up on the right end of it. So you just let it go, and you had your fun. Although the skit wasn't great.
Yeah, it was a little cringy.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken.
It's SNL.
Yeah, exactly. It's SNL. People in Maine had some fun celebrating this 19th century Finnish tradition. More than 30 couples competed in the annual North American Wife Carrying Championship over the weekend. A 278-yard race. The husband runs through an obstacle course carrying his wife over their shoulders. But wife in, air quotes, competitors don't have to be married. You don't even have to be a couple. The winning team does get to leave with a cash prize and beer equal to the weight of the wife.
One day I so want to do this. I just got to convince my hubby.
Yes.
We can do that. Yeah.
Do it.
Just be carried for the whole race.
Where do you put the beer in? How do you carry that home?
A Johnson County intersection will be closed this week as crews work to install a new roundabout. The four-legged intersection of Cornwallis, North Shiloh, and Josephine Road closed this morning at 4 a.m. It will reopen this Friday at 5 p.m. Drivers should follow detour signs. Expect a longer commute. DOT expects the project to be complete by the end of the year.
Following this serious incident, breaking news this morning, state troopers are looking for a driver after a deadly hit-and-run crash. What we are learning about this crash in Johnston County.
I want to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes here as to what we're tracking. We're tracking this cold front that's right on the doorstep. That's eventually going to lead to this kind of chill. Coming up, I'll meet you guys at the big monitor there to time that out and show you when you can expect some of the coldest air of the season.
And a historic first for SpaceX. How its successful test of a first-of-its-kind rocket landing could change the future for NASA.